Notts County Talk, we are live with episode 108 of the Pavis Perspective. A lot to talk about again this evening, but let's see who we've got with us. We have Roy, we have John, Stephen, Martin, who's a platinum member, Evening Martin, Ian, Adrian, Chris, Roger, Jane, Lee. Thank you for joining us, as always. You will have seen we are powered by Better Bytes Computers. Use the code Pavis Perspective to get refurbished computers or a discount on computer repairs. Fantastic Notts owned company. And if you're listening back on Spotify, drop us that 5-star review. That would be massively helpful. Loads, as I said, to talk about. We're gonna go back to the Walsall game, but George, not another difficult weekend for Notts.
Yeah, very difficult. Well, it wasn't actually that difficult, I don't think. I think we just made it difficult for ourselves. Again, defensive frailty showing, goalkeeping that's just... It's not up to standard, is it? Let's be honest. And it's simple mistakes. You could give any keeper... really that first goal that Walsall scored, and they're saving it. And I'm not digging individuals out. I'm just saying how I saw it. And it's not like the first mistake of either keeper. Like, both keepers seem to have a mistake in them. It's concerning when your defence do as well. So yeah, not the best.
I think it looked bad in person, but it was so poor on the replay. Like, it was so poor. I don't really know what to say about it because we have no other option. I mean, we have Slocum, who I think is a brilliant shot stopper, but doesn't necessarily come across as and makes mistakes. We have Stone, who I'll be honest, I don't think is a brilliant shot stopper. Yeah, it's a difficult one. We have to get to January. We've got a question I'm going to bring up shortly. The poll question today is, how do you consume the Pavis Perspective? A little bit of market research for us. Is it YouTube? Is it Spotify? Or is it a mixture of both? The first half, I thought, against Walsall was, I don't know. What do you reckon? Or have we lost him? We might have lost him. So, let's have a look. We have lost him. So, whilst we get George back, if you get some questions in, I'll try and answer them. I'm going to put a question to you while we wait for George. So, my question for you is, and this is actually one that's come from my dad, we can make January signings, but if out of those January signings, you could only guarantee that one was a absolutely, like, nailed on, hit the ground running player, what position would that be? Would that be goalkeeper, defender, midfielder, or striker? And as with that question, we can have as many signings as we need, but you can only guarantee that one of those is that key, like a key player, a game changing player. I'm thinking like defenders. It might be someone like Aidan Flint, who I know was good for Mansfield, but might not necessarily fit in. Nigel's gone goalkeeper, build from the back. Be interesting to know what people think. Is that where our defensive problems have come from? Are they sort of nervous that we've got a goalkeeper at the back that's not filling them with that confidence? What else have we got there? Dave says a solid centre half. Yeah, that could be just what we need. You know, confidence in the middle, and it helps the two around them. James has said a defender. Adrian has said a replacement for Matty Palmer. We're going to talk about Matty Palmer shortly. Desperately need a replacement for him. Is that the signing you'll make? Here he is.
Different backdrop. The Wi-Fi wasn't working in the room I was in, so I've had to...
Well, I've put the question, George, to everyone. If you could sign as many players as you want, that's okay. But you can only guarantee that one of those players in January hits the ground running as a game changer. What position do you go for? We've got Nigel saying goalkeeper. We've got Dave saying solid centre half. James saying a defender. Adrian said a Matty Palmer replacement. Martin's gone goalkeeper for all the reasons you've said. Yeah, that confidence. Richard, big bruising centre half. Len, commanding centre half. Royce, central midfielder. Half the problem is the lack of Palmer. Adam said Mendy from Wrexham. Chris, centre back, who's good in the air, good on the floor, and dangerous in both boxes. Not asking for much. What would you go with, George?
I don't know. We're really missing Matty Palmer, aren't we? But I think we sort of maybe if Gosling gets up to speed, we sort of have a sort of fill in there. I think goalkeeper actually. I think goalkeeper. If we've got a good goalkeeper that doesn't have, sort of an easy mistake in him, I think that will breathe a bit of confidence into the defence.
Yeah.
And look, I think we saw that a little bit with Patterson. I know we only had him for a relatively short time, but the defence seemed to just have that bit more confidence in giving the keeper giving the ball to the keeper, and sort of trusting the keeper a little bit more. Because for me, I think that's what it is. As much as there is simple defensive errors in there, I think it probably does come from the sort of trust in the keeper.
Yeah, I think it's a really hard one because I feel like the goalkeeper position is just it's really, really weak. It is really weak. And would that sort us out defensively? I don't know. Someone's put in here a good centre half to protect the keeper. I keep thinking back to the first goal. And they get momentum after the first goal on Saturday.
Yeah.
I know we weren't very good, but if that's kept out, you don't know what happens from then on.
Yeah.
We may be going to win the game. And the second goal, I've watched the second goal back, and you've got Richard Brindley backing off. And I don't know if you've watched the video, you can hear someone screaming, "Get to him." But then in the middle, you've got Brindley making that. And then in the middle, there's a guy just peeling off to the penalty spot, watching all the defenders run towards the goal and thinking, I'll have that space. And it's not an easy finish. The ball's come across his body. But you know what I will say? It's in the middle of the goal. It's not in the corner.
Do you know what as well? Watching it back, like he could have took a touch as well.
Yeah.
He had that space in that time. So yeah, like you said, to leave that sort of pocket of space in your 18-yard box, that available is poor.
Yeah. There's a lot of talk here. Case put James Belshaw has left Forest Green. He'd love to come to Notts. I know he's a Notts fan. I don't know. What do you think? He's obviously decent. Am I thinking? Was he Harrogate's keeper when they went up? He was in that playoff final.
Yes, he was. Yeah.
And then he went to, was it Bristol Rovers? Am I thinking right? Yes, I am.
Yeah. You are.
33 years of age. For me, I'd be tempted to just say yeah on the deal to the end of the season. But still the question is, what position would you go for? Centre half, because Matty Palm will eventually come back to full fitness. Eventually, it won't be this season. But we need a centre half that's going to improve us in the long term as well. My eyes. I had a week to, I had a week to calm down after Shrewsbury one. I didn't calm down. But I'm feeling a lot more relaxed after that Walsall one. I've changed my expectations now drastically.
As to
top three. Like, I would love Notts to get top three, and I still think it's possible, but my expectations now isn't of Notts getting top three. And maybe I was naive at the start of the season to put that as an expectation. Maybe it was too high. But I've changed it now completely. And if we finish in that last playoff spot, so be it, I'll take it. Anything less than that, and after the start we've had, and I think it's a bit. It's not a great second half of the season. It's not going to be if we fall out the playoffs. But if we finish 7th, so be it, because everyone knows a January transfer window cannot sort out a team. But I don't know what you're thinking, because last week you said Notts can still finish top 3.
Yeah,
and we can.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we're only 1 point off third after having quite a bad run, really. If my memory serves me correct there. And I think we're like 2 points off second.
No, we're 1 point off second.
Are we?
Yeah, 1 point. They're both Wrexham 37, Barrow 37, Mansfield 36, Crewe 36, Notts 36, and Wimbledon 31. So no matter what happens Saturday, we stay sixth.
Yeah. No, I think we can finish top three. I think there's just been a bit of a drop in confidence, and I think once we regain that, maybe it'd be 1 or 2 decent wins and a clean sheet, maybe, or maybe a transfer in January. Who knows? But it definitely can happen. We saw it at the start of the season. We just need to sort of regain confidence and form. Every team has a bit of a blip, don't they? And
have you seen Stockport's at the minute?
Yeah, it's bad. It is bad. They've got a lot of injuries as well, which is weird because so many clubs seem to have injuries at the minute. It's strange.
Yeah, they do. And I don't know. I just think that we're not that far. I agree with what Carl Cameron said. We're not that far away, but it feels like we're miles away because it's every game. What's happening is every game, like lack of concentration, mistakes. Like the first goal on Saturday is a mistake, isn't it? In my eyes, it's a goalkeeper error, and the second one, there's 2 errors in there. Now you could argue that every single goal is a mistake, but they're not glaring errors. Not every goal is a glaring error, and some of them this season have. But Hampstead, such a good start, would be a shame to waste it. I agree. I think it would be really you don't get many more opportunities in this. Like think about the squad at the end of this season. Maka. Looking at it now, Macca's already on 14 goals. He's on course to be nearly 30. Now, if Notts don't go up, I very much doubt Macca would still be here. We'd obviously get a very good fee for him being in League Two now, and his age is like prime striker age. In February, he'll be 27. But, it's going to be a bit of a different squad next year. Not massively different, but it will be quite different. I mean, you'll still have Matty Palmer here because no one's going to get Matty Palmer after his injury. You'll still have a good few players in a core of a squad. I'd still say Dan Crowley be here.
Jody Jones.
Yeah. I don't know. No,
he's still here.
Not sure.
He is.
Well, you never know. But I think we're not that far away, but it also feels like we're miles away. So it's a hard one, but my expectations have completely changed. I look back at still everything I reacted with after the game. If you have seen that on Saturday against Walsall, everything I stand by, I say. But I'm not going to let it wind me up as much. Like we are a newly promoted side that sits 6th in the league with a league of Stockport, Moneybags, Wrexham, Mansfield, who are well established, and I'm sure their fans won't want to be reminded that they are established in League Two.
I wouldn't say it's like a bad thing though. You're saying you've sort of tailored your expectations. I don't think we really should because it's not like we're being outclassed. That's the problem for me. That's what makes it difficult to accept. It's our error. 1 high caliber underway. Yeah, it's our error. So that's what's so frustrating, and that's what makes it harder to take. If you're being outclassed week in, week out, it's probably a little bit easier to take. Like it's obviously never easy to take losing and bad runs of form and stuff like that. But to lose games in the manner that we have in the last few games, it's nowhere near standard, is it?
No, it's not. It's not. And as I said last week, we're not being absolutely battered by teams. We're not. So, but I could almost accept that in a new league, and like after 15 games or so, you'd think to yourself, yeah, these are just way better than us, because they're not. They're not way better than us. We're just sloppy. Really, really, not been great. What do you think of this? It seemed like there'd been an argument or some dissent in the team during the second half. That's something that did concern me a little bit, and I didn't like to see. If you weren't at the game, it wouldn't have picked up on highlights or anything like that. There was a lot of conversation between defenders and some of the midfielders, and it obviously wasn't positive. It looked like, you obviously can't hear from where we are, but it looks a bit like the blame game going on. One bad pass and they were on each other's backs. That's something that I think needs to be cut out straight away, because since Williams has come in, we've been a very, very tight and committed squad, haven't we?
Yeah.
Which is, something that we obviously need to keep going. Something not mentioned here is the second half. Second half, no shots, George. Can you believe that? From a Notts County side under Luke Williams.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's strange, isn't it? Because the first half, and we've seen it a few times this season where the first half has been relatively good. We've done well, and then we come out second half just a different side, and it does make you wonder sort of what the problem is there, because it's a recurring issue, isn't it?
When's the last time we, like, in your mind, we played a full 90 of good football?
A full 90 of good football, probably like
no one plays a full 90 of good football.
No, but like a majority of a game, maybe.
Yeah, what you'd expect, like we got last season. Because I'll go through the victories. Obviously, you can't say.
I think genuinely, what I'd say, maybe Gillingham. You know, thought we were quite good at Gillingham.
Yeah, I thought we were good at Gillingham. We beat Newport 3-0 straight after Gillingham. That was pretty comprehensive.
Yeah.
You then got the Crawley win at home. We went behind in that, but we were pretty good. But yeah, last season you could tick off any game, couldn't you?
Yeah, you could. Yeah.
But not to have a shot worried me a little bit. Martin says the next 5 matches are all winnable, even Stockport away in their current form. If we do well in these matches, we all feel much more positive. Look, we could be going into the new year, and football's like this. We could be going into the new year with four more victories. I think it would be 4 games. Yeah, 4 victories. You could even, like, it's very unlikely, but you could go in and say 4 victories and like 3 clean sheets or something like that, and all of a sudden it looks very, very different. But that's what football is. And Stockport on their current form, Stockport won't want to play us either. Like, we don't want to play Stockport, but they won't like to play us. Also, if anyone's got Stockport tickets spare, a couple of Stockport tickets, can you DM us on either Instagram or Twitter, please? Because we're looking for 2 Stockport tickets, because they went on sale very early and they weren't massively publicised, and the Stockport website wasn't fantastic. So there we go. Adrian says Doncaster away was the last time that's as close to a full 90 as you're going to get, I think. Yeah. That was a good performance. There was a question for us in here. I'll let you answer this one first, George. Roy says, what's your thoughts on Williams' second half substitutions? I still don't understand them.
Right. Am I right in thinking that we have 5 substitutes, but they can't all be, you can't have, there's not 5 windows for a substitute?
3 windows.
Yeah. So if Williams wants to use all his substitutes, obviously he has to make at least 2 sort of in one substitute window. But in saying that, I don't really get it, to be honest. Not sure about it, to be honest. I think he took off sort of the players that were in good form in that game, 1 or 2 anyway. So, like Macari came off, didn't he? And I think out of that back line, he was probably like playing the best. I mean, he made 1 or 2 errors, but for me, he was still probably one of the best defenders on the pitch. I wasn't sure. I think it's not the first time this season where I've looked at substitutions and thought, I'm not sure if that was what sort of I was expecting, but yeah.
Am I right in thinking then that Junior was playing centre mid at the end of the game?
Yeah.
Matty Palmer to Junior in centre mid. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, on paper it does look bad. I think stuff like that, where a striker that's maybe not had much game time and stuff like that is sort of put in a position like that, and they're filling in for someone. Like, standards are up there because of Matty Palmer. But who's to say that won't work? Do you know what I mean?
Who's to say what won't work?
Junior in centre mid.
I'll say that won't work.
What but you look at the contrast of that. Like, I know this is a complete other end of the spectrum, but look at Joe Linton at Newcastle.
Complete other end of the spectrum, like you say. Just scored a Champions League goal.
Yeah, I know, but it's there, isn't it?
Not for me. Absolutely not. And I get what you're saying.
His form wasn't good. He wasn't firing in his sort of preferred striker position. And then Eddie Howe puts him sort of centre mid, and he's amazing. Wow.
Junior's form was good though. Scored against a lovely finish against Crawley, wasn't it? Yeah. David said he came on, so he was more of an attacking mid. I think the fact it looked like he was a centre mid is because he was dropping back. Didsey was way off it on Saturday as well.
Yeah, he was.
Kept kicking the ball out of play. How many times do you think we kicked the ball out of play without being really challenged. I'd say at least 10 or 12.
How many goal kicks were there?
A lot.
No, it just felt like the keeper was kicking out a lot.
No, it did. It definitely did.
Yeah, quite a few really, like unforced errors and passing it out.
That vocabulary. If you're a pundit, unforced errors.
Cheers, mate.
Unforced errors. Before we start to go on to talk about Harrogate then and more things, I want to call it a phrase that I came across this week, which I've not come across. And this is more not just a question of knots. I'm going to broaden this to a question of football, right?
Yeah.
Toxic positivity.
Toxic. What a topic this is.
I know, but I'm seeing it crop up a little bit, and not just with knots. Because obviously, if you're hounding a negative non-stop, week in, week out, right, especially at this level, it's going to get to the players. What's your thoughts on this toxic positivity, being too positive? And again, this is just more of a general football question.
Yeah, I think my perception of things are everything in life has value, right? If I sit here every week and I'm saying, "No, this team are amazing. This team are like the best thing ever," or I sit here and say, "This team are awful," when after every game I'm saying the same thing, what's the value in my opinion? There's no value. I'm not saying that I've got a valued opinion because I mean,
well, everyone has really, haven't they?
Yeah. But if your opinion is always the same, what sort of value does it have?
I agree.
It doesn't really, does it? I think, and look, you know, when we were obviously lucky enough to obviously speak to Williams and a few of the players, they were sort of saying we want you to tell us when we're not very good. You know, we don't want you to sort of lie about this stuff. So it's not like we're getting on people's back. We're just saying it as we see it. And I think we sort of owe it to the club and ourselves as fans to just be honest when we aren't good. Why would you sit there and say, "Oh, they were good today"? And I get the whole getting behind players and stuff like that. We support the club, so we should support them through thick and thin. But we're not going to come here and tear people apart and stuff like that. It's constructive. We're seeing where the errors are, and we're saying where we think there can be improvements. So yeah, I think toxic positivity is just as bad as someone being negative, because if you're just blindly saying, "Yeah, this is great, you know, let's get behind the club, it's just a blip, we've just been promoted." Yeah, I know we've just been promoted, but we also were sitting top after, was it 12 games?
Yeah.
So how can you just think, "Oh, all of a sudden they're not able to compete at that level," when we've seen it for a quarter of the season?
Yeah, I agree. Thank you, Mikey Horizon, for renewing. Really appreciate that. Helped out making the video, so massively appreciate that. No, I agree. I would never boo. And like Adam's put in here, never like booing like Saturday. And it was a very small section. Like I'm not going to boo the players unless they put in like an absolute stinker where you could tell they weren't bothered, or like you get at some clubs where they just give up because they want a manager out or something like that, where they genuinely don't deserve the money that you spent on them. Not something like that. Like we didn't play very well, but I'd never get to that stage. But yeah, I think it is a balance. Like, do you know what really gets me? I hate it when people tag players in posts. I think that's awful. That's something you'd never do. You know, like a negative post.
Yeah.
We would never catch that happening. Like positivity there. Never go after players like that. But also, like you said, there are times for it to be called out. Like against Shrewsbury, like no one could sit there and say, "Oh well, they're a League One team."
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's all right. FA Cup against a better opposition. No, that needed calling out. And the second half on Saturday, yeah, like let's have a talk about that, because we didn't have a shot against the side that I went on a podcast last Wednesday and they said they'd be lucky not to lose 6-0. And then we don't have a shot against them second half. Like players arguing amongst themselves. We'll have a talk about that. But no, I agree. It can be being overly toxic positivity can definitely be as bad as negativity, because it just that for me brings what I'm trying to think of the word, but complacency.
Yeah.
players think, they're not even bothered. They're not bothered.
Yeah.
Like, we can go put that performance in. And I'm not saying any Notts player like that, 100% not. But
it's the same with anything as well, like any job in the world. And I know, like a bricklayer won't have a 10,000 people behind him cheering him on and telling him what to do. But if you're doing a bad job as a bricklayer, no one's going to tell you you're doing a good job.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's just the way it goes.
Most jobs you're sacked.
Exactly, yeah. Obviously, football is a little bit different. It's not like a mirrored image, is it, to a sort of standard career? But it's when you sort of mirror the two, it's there, isn't it?
Yeah, it is 100%. It's just an interesting topic, I think, because it's come in that Twitter is so negative, and social media can be negative for everything, not just football or sport. But then now there's the thing of positivity, isn't it? So, yeah, interesting topic. But we sit 6th. I've tailored my expectations. Even though Stockport are having a blip, I don't think they're going to be out of the top 3. I mean, this is how good they've been. They haven't won in something like 4 or 5, maybe even 6 games, and they're still 6 points clear.
Yeah,
like, come on. When they get players back, they're gonna just roll on again. Like, they lost Louis Barry, who scored 7 consecutive games. So, yeah, I just think we need to keep getting behind them. And I saw some tweets of people say at like 8 o'clock at night on Saturday saying, right, see you at Harrogate. And that's the mentality that need to have. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, it's very disappointing leaving it. We can have our opinions, but
yeah, that's it. It's on to the next one, isn't it?
Yeah. And talking of the next one.
If we gave up after a bad game, how long would we have been Notts fans for?
Well, we could probably have gone for the whole of last season.
Yeah, you probably could.
But no, I know exactly what you mean. But yeah, you just got to keep going, haven't you? Because there will be a time this season where we'll notch together 2, 3, 4 wins on the bounce in this division, like we did in the last one. We got 7 or 8 on the bounce, but yeah, it'll come, and it might be against Harrogate. So yeah, talking of on to the next one, we've got Harrogate, and this gives me a lot of confidence. I'm looking at the table. Who has the best home form? Sorry, who has one of the worst home forms in League Two? Who do you think has the worst?
It's got to be one of the teams near the bottom, isn't it?
Yeah, it's surprisingly not the one you might think.
Is it Sutton?
No, Sutton have done well.
I know.
It's Forest Green, yeah, Forest Green.
Yeah.
And then it's Harrogate. 10 games, 8 points at home. Really, really not very good. So we then look at their recent form. They drew 2-2 at home to Wrexham, which is a good result. And I look at their others. They drew with Swindon, who are falling a bit. They lost to Crewe. They lost to Mansfield. They lost to Stockport. Actually, I'm looking at this. They've had some hard games at home. They've already played Stockport, Mansfield, Crewe, and Wrexham at home. Their home fixtures after us get a lot easier. They beat Salford. They lost to Wimbledon. So they lost to Barrow. They're not doing very well at home, but they've had some incredibly difficult fixtures. So I think, based on what I've just read, that could be a bit of a false position, because if they'd have played the teams we played at home, they'd be a bit higher. Away form. Their away form is 5th best in the league. Ours is 10th. We picked up 12 points away from home all season. No one's particularly done very well away from home. We've got the best home form, along with Stockport. To say we've lost 3 games at home.
Have we actually?
Yeah, 24 points from 11 games.
It's pretty good, yeah.
I mean, we've won every one, haven't we? Apart from the 3.
Yeah,
apart from those 3.
What, Walsall, Mansfield, Wrexham?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's it,
yeah, 24 points. Away from home, we've got 12 points from 10 games. We're not even we've not even got half the points we could have picked up, which is a bit worrying. And we haven't been to Stockport yet. We haven't been to Mansfield. We haven't been to Wrexham. We've been to Barrow and Crewe and Wimbledon, but yeah, be interesting. But yeah, how do you see us playing against Harrogate? Do you think? I know we're sort of lowering our expectations, and we've spoken about that all video, but is it a must? How would you be feeling sat here next week and we've lost?
Deflated, to say the least. It's a bad habit to get into, isn't it? Losing. The more losses you get, the more confidence goes out the window. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd be gutted if we lost. And look, like you're just saying, I know they've obviously played some difficult teams, but for the home form to be as it is, we should really be going there looking to win.
Yeah, I agree. We have to go and win there because we can't drop lower than 6, but teams could catch up and get sort of within 3 points of us, 4 points of us. And I want to keep a cushion because there's going to be tricky games this season. I think it's important going into the Stockport game as well that we get a win because Stockport are going to turn it around at some point. I'm just going to have a look who they've got at the weekend. I mean, they lost to Aldershot, didn't they? They've got Sutton at home. I can't see them not winning that game. And then they go into a horrendous run of us, Barrow, Bradford, and Mansfield. So I'm going to say it right now. I'd be absolutely amazed if Sutton get even a point away at Stockport. Top v
Really?
bottom. Yeah. Do you want to know why?
Go on.
Because if my calculations are correct, Sutton have picked up. Yeah, they have. Sutton have got 2 points away from home all season. That's good, that is.
That's good.
2 points away from home, conceded 25. What do you think Sutton could possibly get something against the low on confidence and injured Stockport?
Yeah.
You really do.
Yeah. What better way to get a struggling team up, like Sutton, for a game against top of the league when they've got players out?
I just can't see it. I can't see them getting even a sniff. Tranmere also have 2 points away from home, which is shocking, isn't it? Where do you think Notts sit in the table of I've told you we're top, but out of 24, where do you think we are for away points?
9th.
10th.
Oh, 10th. Nearly said 10 as well.
No, you didn't. You didn't. Don't be silly. Don't be silly. Right, we haven't got a Harrogate fan on, as you probably noticed. Didn't even get a sniff of a Harrogate fan. Barrow we did. Accrington we didn't, but I've got one. But Harrogate, not even a sniff. Not even a sniff. So there we go. Looking forward to Harrogate. Will complete my Notts County Football League 92, as in see Notts play every Football League team. Wow, that is pretty impressive. Pretty impressive. They also says we won't play Sutton on the 6th of January as they're in the FA Cup next round. Yep, they are. So a bit of a rest for Notts after a hectic period of Christmas fixtures. I'm in Harrogate for a long weekend. Hopefully looking forward to bringing 3 points home, says Jeff. I'm there, and it was a very quick sellout, wasn't it? It was like 24 hours for 700 tickets. Speaking of tickets, if you have just joined and you have any spare for Stockport, I'm happy to purchase a couple, 2 or 3 Stockport tickets if you can't make the game. I know it's still 9 days away, but if at any point you can't, then just drop us a DM on Instagram or Twitter. Really would appreciate that. So yeah, we've got to be careful going into this Harrogate game. Defensively, I have a look at them. 27 conceded, Notts have conceded 38. But only scored 20. Yeah, no, it's bad, isn't it? Only 2 teams have conceded more than us, and that's bottom of the league Sutton and 22nd Colchester. But I'm positive. I'm positive. You know, I've changed my expectations.
Good man.
7th place will do for me. Maybe not. Maybe 6th, so we get a home tie and the leg we want. Because obviously it's double leg now, isn't it? So home tie, the one we want. Right, team selection then. I feel like this is like, sometimes we go over the team selection. It's like, yeah, this is what we're going to happen. But I think this is really important because like someone's just put, it's probably a team of confidence.
Do you know, before we go into team news, please, someone in the chat, let us know if Tiernan Brooks is available for selection.
Come on, someone tell us. Someone replied to one of our messages and said it won't be till January the 1st.
But it was a loan deal, wasn't it? And 9 times out of 10, you can recall early from a loan, can't you? Unless something's put in the contract. So that wouldn't make sense to me because he's a Notts County player.
Yeah, he should be available. Let's see what people say. But would you? So are you saying that as in you would have him in?
Yeah.
Yeah, Chris, don't see why Brooks can't play. I think that would say then and there to both goalkeepers.
Yeah,
that's it. I don't think you can come back from that, which I think is a big risk. Saying you put Tiernan Brooks in there. No, not you, but like Luke Williams, like, do you remember last season? I think it was, or the season before, where Slocum kept getting put in and out of the squad. It was the year before, wasn't it? And we had Yaros and we had Patterson keep coming in. And he kept his level. And I think he finished the season in goal, I think. But I don't know how we've brought a keeper in and we could put Brooks in. Even if it's the right thing to do, which it can't not be okay to let him have a go and goal, surely.
What have we got to lose? Look, I think if I remembered rightly, I'm sure Turner Brooks is 21 or 22.
22.
Yeah, so he's 22. So look, he's been at Notts for a few years as well. Like, if he's not going to start breaking into the team at 22, how long are we going to sort of nurture him for? I think we've just got to put him in there. He played 1 or 2 league games for us last season, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Why not give him a try?
So
I know what you mean with like the knock-on effect.
Because
how many chances do you need to be given? And I'm not just singling one keeper out, because for me, Slocum and Stone have both made considerable amount of mistakes to say we're not even halfway through the season.
But imagine you put Turner Brooks in and it doesn't work. And then
January in 2 weeks.
It is, but then you've got to go Stockport, Doncaster, Morecambe with goalkeepers that they're not even wanted or part of the plan.
I do think though the environment created by Williams is sort of like, look, we're having to bring this keeper in to give him a chance because he's gone out on loan and he's done well. He's been at the club for a long time, and the standard of goalkeeping isn't there at the minute. Prove me wrong. Do you know what I mean? I don't think it's going to be like.
I fully agree with what you mean.
We're putting him in because you're not good enough. It's not like that. It's not like there's a line drawn under you and you're gone. It's just sort of, look, the squad's not big. We need to use it as much as we can and the best we can. And for me, in my opinion, I think the best that we can use a squad is for putting Brooks in goal.
You're convincing me here a little bit. Can you put a 22-year-old goalkeeper behind this defence at the minute? That's my other little issue. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like you can do. And
what's the worst that can happen?
Was it Brooks came in last season against Bromley and saved a penalty and then gave another one away?
Yeah, I think he
That was
did.
a crazy game.
Yeah.
Yeah, crazy.
Was that not May?
I don't think it was May, I think it was Turner Brooks.
Yeah, I think it was Turner Brooks, wasn't it? He did. He saved one, didn't he?
He did. And then he should have got sent off for bringing their player down, but I don't think the ref had the bottle.
Yeah.
I'm just going to have a look. Turner Brooks. 4 games last season for Notts in the league. Yeah. Yeah, Mayor did save.
I'd never have said that, though. 4.
No, I wouldn't. Right, you've on Turner Brooks in goal. He's actually 20. My mistake.
I was
not 22. I'm going Sam Slocum in goal. But then again, you can't just keep swapping your keeper, can you?
Yeah. It's horrible because you don't know what you're going to get. Yeah, there's errors there. It's horrible.
I don't know. Can't even pick a keeper 20 odd games into the season. Sam Slocum for me, just because. I don't know. We'll just go with that one. We'll put 6 at the back. Dave says too late giving people a try. We need a seasoned keeper. Can't risk another hopeful. I get everyone's point of view on this goalkeeper situation.
Yeah. What we got to lose though? I know it's a hope. What do we have to lose by putting Brooks in goal? Nothing.
Can we put Brooks and Slocum? Could happen. I'm going Sam Slocum in goal.
Okay.
Get us through to January. Back 5.
I'm assuming that Toby's injured.
Yeah.
But I think he had a little strain on his hamstring. But you're saying that he'd be back for the Shrewsbury game, and he didn't play in that, did he? But he was on the bench, if my memory serves me right. But then he wasn't in the squad for Walsall. So I'm not sure if you're just out of favour or if it is an injury problem. But if he isn't injured, I'd put Toby in.
So would I. But I don't think we're going to see it, but I will put him straight in. Then you go to the back three. It has to be Lewis McCorry. Do you know what? I don't think Baldwin was a massive issue on Saturday at all. So I'm
just replying to people saying that James has put, we have league places to lose, we've got promotion to lose, but our goalkeepers are already losing his games.
Also, we don't have a league place to lose this week. We can't lose a place this week. But yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, goalkeepers,
they're costing us games. So by putting Brooks in, what do we really have to lose?
We could just have something to gain, maybe.
Exactly.
Yeah. I don't normally agree with you. So Dan says we've got 3 number 2 keepers. Number 2 keepers, generous. But no, Taylor Brooks could be a number 1. You never know. Got to break through at some point. And
exactly.
Age, people saying age. Look at Anthony Patterson. He was clearly good enough. And actually, Taylor Brooks playing for Cork, if he hadn't got injured, would have got a lot more game time. So I'm going to keep Baldwin in. And I'm going to put Cameron in. I'm going to go the same back 3.
Yeah, I agree.
Because so up until their goal, there wasn't defensive errors. Yeah, wasn't defensive errors. And then Jody, no. Yeah, Jody. Midfield 2. I was calling for Dan Gosling last week. I'm not sure this week. I am sure not Dan Gosling this week.
It's got to be Bostock, hasn't it? And then
I'm going Bostock and Jim.
Yeah, sharp. Bostock and Jim.
And then in front of those, I go Dan Crowley, Sam Austin, and Macca.
Agreed.
I'm dropping Didsey for a bit of a rest. Looked really tired on Saturday. Hasn't been playing that well away from home. And I just think Sam Austin, and Adrian said Sam played well. I'm thinking he means Sam Austin. The way he played against Shrewsbury, Luke said it's the best game he's ever seen from him. Put him in. So I'm going for that. Right, George.
Tom,
what was the poll?
The poll this week was, how do you consume the Pavis perspective? YouTube and Spotify. There's a different option. Obviously 90% is YouTube because we are the poll is on YouTube, which isn't surprising. 6% Spotify, 4% YouTube and Spotify.
There we go. So there are a few Spotify listeners that mostly listen on Spotify. Interesting.
Do you ever listen along?
Do I listen along?
Do you ever watch back?
No. I have to spend, 43 minutes with you now. I'm not listening back to you.
I was going to say, I listen on Spotify. I actually do listen to us on Spotify sometimes. And that Tom, he ain't got a clue what he's talking about.
Didn't answer it. It's a marketing poll. For those that answered it, George is collecting your data right now. That's why he's smiling looking at his phone. We'll be cold calling you soon, James. Hello.
Via YouTube.
Yeah. So you get a call from an unknown number, it's probably George. Right, on score YouTube. Predictions for Harrogate. I'm going to go 2-1 Notts.
The old reliable 2-1.
Yeah, 2-1 Notts. And I don't think it's going to be pretty. Goal scorers, Sam Austin and Macca.
I think I'm going to go 2-1 as well. I'm going to go for a Bostock goal, free kick.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say Cameron to score from a corner.
Okay, fair enough. We go 3-1, says David. To Harrogate, that was. 2-1 to us, says Richard. Callum says Chickson back for a demolition of a 9-1 win. Put us back on the map. Chickson hat-trick, Langstaff, Brace, Mariah hat-trick, Crowley top bins. He's been typing that since the start of the video.
It's reasonable.
0-0 defensive masterclass from both teams. You know what? If we were to draw, I would rather it be a 0-0. keep a clean sheet. A gritty 1-1. We've got Mark says Harrogate 2, Notts 3. That'll be a great result. We've got a 2-1 Harrogate. Please don't say that. We've got a 2-0 win where we have a clean sheet before the season ends. Oh, we could get it. We could get it. We'll bounce back with a 3-1 win, says James. 2-2 Macca and Jody. We've got here happy with a draw away from home. Yeah, sets us up to try and get something against Stockport. And then we've got a 3-2 Macca hat-trick late winner. Defensive errors for the Harrogate goals. You know what? I would hate that. I'd hate that. Awful. Right. There are some of your predictions. We're still pretty positive. Some positive predictions on there. We are, there's a few more that have gone draw than they would have a few weeks ago. But if we can go there, it's not going to be easy. December, they played some good teams already. So the home form table does lie a little bit. But yeah, thank you for watching along. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you as always to our channel members and our platinum channel members who you see at the bottom of the screen. Thank you to Mackie Horizon for resubscribing as a member. And if you are traveling to Harrogate, safe journey. I might see you there.